Buttons. Hey everybody, welcome to Faith and Fandom Feedback Friday. As coming to you live on a Friday morning before I go do muggle jobs and adult to share with you some news in the world of things going on. So going to talk about just stuff that I've seen it. Not that you need me to be your source for news in any capacity, but just stuff that I've seen it. Whoop, there we go. Not that you need me to be your source for news on anything, but it's good to share. It's good to talk about some things together. And I'm gonna go over some just news for the week. So this is for February 2nd, and I hope you're doing well. Um, I would ask how you're doing, but one of the news stories of the past week is the fact that um, Elmo from Sesame Street tweeted out, "How are you doing?" And it turned into a ugly scenario of trauma dumping where the whole world just kind of unloaded on Elmo about how not cash money society is right now and how hard life is. So, sometimes all it takes is the right person to ask how you're doing before you really fall apart. And apparently it just took Elmo. So when Elmo asked how everybody was doing, they were not doing great. Um, so there's also some stuff with Larry David and Elmo, but even if it's not Elmo asking, I do hope you're doing well, and I hope your world is okay-ish. Because we're all gonna have hard days and stuff that's going on. And literally, first thing I found out when I woke up this morning is that my grandma passed last or this morning, and uh, I- I'm grateful just because she's been in hospice care and cancer, and um, I'm grateful for the extra time we got with her. But that's a thing, and it's hard. But I hope you're doing okay, and I hope that you have people you can talk to, whether it be me, a puppet, whoever that you have people in your life you can actually communicate with. So let's jump in some news. Let's talk about some stuff going on in the world and things that we can learn about. So first off, if you are a wrestling fan or you are part of the world that occasionally likes wrestling, the Royal Rumble happened last Saturday, and um, we'll just talk some Rumble news real quick. And CM Punk got injured at the Royal Rumble. Uh, During a move with Drew McIntyre. His tricep was torn and he's going to be out for a hot minute. With that, Cody Rhodes and Bailey both won their respective Rumbles with title shots at WrestleMania, and they're also pursuing a storyline of he should fight Seth Rollins versus uh, Roman Reigns, but that's a thing that actually happened. And there was some other wrestling news real quick. Let me double check my notes because I don't have my nice little dry erase board because I took my one dry erase marker to my office. Um, and apparently I'm lame because I only have one uh one dry erase marker. So yeah, that's the thing. Those are some just updates from the wrestling world. Another update in the world of wrestling is that Seth Rollins, who is the WWE. I don't know what the titles. The titles confuse me because there's multiple titles. Um, but Seth Rollins, uh, somewhere in the past increments of time, filmed a role in the upcoming Captain America 4, where he was a member of the Serpent Society. Now, outside of them being some B-list villains, I don't know a lot about the Serpent Society, so I don't have a lot of dogs in that fight. But Seth Rollins filmed a role as a member of the Serpent Society. It's come to light that all of the Serpent Society storyline has been cut from Captain America 4, which means all of Seth Rollins' scenes that he filmed will be cut from the film, and all we're left with at this point is some grainy footage of him in an outfit that looks very similar to Loki. And you can find these on the internet if you care. But Seth Rollins, it appears, has been cut from his Marvel appearance. And I'm honestly a little sad for that because I was excited for him. The way that Edge has been able to make a presence through the Percy Jackson series, I was really hoping that Seth Rollins was going to kind of get his feet wet in that capacity too. Um, but I digress. That happened. That was a thing. You don't, Mark. I don't like you. So Seth Rollins has been cut from Captain America. I'm hoping maybe they'll do some reshoots and bring him in some way, shape, form, or capacity. But who knows if that's actually going to happen. Um, yeah. In music-ish news, yeah, we'll go there. In music-ish news, uh, last Saturday on Saturday Night Live, uh, Justin Timberlake, as a musical guest, premiered a new song called Sanctified. Um, and it had a feature and guest appearance on Saturday Night Live from one of my favorite artists, Toby Nwigwe. Now, uh, Toby's verse, which I heard first because he posted it on his TikTok, was a banger. And I really enjoyed it. Justin's verse has a lot more of that cultural trend of using spiritual terms in sensual or sexual manner, and I'm not a big fan of it. But I also can't like buy the song or examine the lyrics too clearly because it's only on uh Amazon, or not Amazon, it's only on Saturday Night Live on YouTube and stuff at this point. But when the single drops, I do plan to further listen to it. But for Toby's verse alone, I was just really excited to see Toby and his crew performing on Saturday Night Live. So that was pretty neat. Um, Also today in theaters, Argyle drops. The spy film with Bryce Dallas Howard, Sam Rockwell, Henry Cavill, Dua Lupia, if I'm saying her name right, John Cena, uh, Bryan Cranston, Samuel L. Jackson. I mean, there's a lot going on, and it's from the folks that brought us the Kingsman, so you're going to kind of get that kind of vibe. Early reviews of the film aren't good. I believe IGN gave it a 4, and another dude who rates on an alphabet scale gave it a C minus. I plan to go watch it just for kicks and giggles, but Argyle is in theaters today. Um, there's also something else that dropped today. What was it? Um, There's something else that came out today. I want to make sure I tell you that and that. Oh well, I'll find it when I get there. Um, yeah. So that dropped out today. Um, we also are getting community movie updates. The community movie has officially based on what Donald Glover says, the script for the community movie is done. He's not read it yet, but he was told this week that the script for the community movie is done. I still have 2 seasons of the show to finish, but I am looking forward to it. There is it's Mr. and Mrs. Smith on the Donald Glover note. That's why I said Mr. and Mrs. Smith is out today on Amazon Prime. It has a 9 rating from services. And I saw 1 9, I saw 1 8, but both indicated it was very strong. So if you saw the Brad Pitt Angelina Jolie movie of yesteryear, this is an updated Amazon Prime series based on that, and apparently it's just really good. I do look forward to checking that out. Mr. and Mrs. Smith is out on Amazon. Remember Megamind, the animated film with Will Ferrell, Tina Fey, Brad Pitt, Jonah Hill? It's getting a sequel movie. Uh, and it's getting its own TV series on Peacock. So you'll be able to watch the movie and the TV series on Peacock. So if you're a Megamind fan, you're going to have that opportunity. Um, my concern, and like so many other like Disney animated series and stuff and sequels that come after movies straight to video or streaming, is that the original cast is not back. And what made me want to watch Megamind in the first place was Will Ferrell and Tina Fey. And I listened to the trailer of the dude doing the Megamind voice, and I'll say this, it wasn't the worst thing I've ever heard, but it also was clearly not Will Ferrell. And so I didn't love that. But if you have kids or you just are a hardcore fan of Megamind in general, because I know those do exist, um, you should check that out. Also in movie news and entertainment, they have released the first official poster for Beetlejuice 2. I don't know that I ever wanted a sequel to Beetlejuice. I really enjoyed the cartoon. The movie is a classic, and the movie's just one of those it's one of those pieces of history and cinema that I don't know if it's worth tarnishing, but I've heard a lot of good things from the creators. But that will officially drop in theaters on September 6th. So if you're interested in Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice 2 is coming, and we are just 7 months away from the Beetlejuice sequel. And I've said that name enough times now that he should appear. Um, but it is coming. Uh, on this note, and I'm just saying this early because I need to cross it off my list so I can flip sides of my cue card. Um, Faith and Fandom Book 9 is officially out. Uh, the Errors Tour has 18 different devotionals of geeky theme and such. And so if you know me, if you want the books, they're on Amazon and stuff. If you just want to read the unedited versions of the chapters in here, you can go to faithandfandom.org, click book 9, and everything's in there. But my daughter Rosa did the cover, and there's guest chapters from Mike Perna and Tanya Quackenbush. And yeah, so Faith and Fandom book 9 is out. Cross that off my list. I do need to announce that because some of y'all care. I did a road trip last week and drove to see my friend Chris Poyer's ministry and restaurant in Columbus, Georgia. And I put on here my route. And if you were uh, on that route, let me know and I'll stop and give you books and stickers. And I had some people take me up on that. So that was cool, stopping in random spots and just giving people books and stickers. So when I travel, I'm going to try and keep doing this or just leave stuff hanging around, but I got to do that and it was pretty neat. Uh, Also, for those of you who have desperately been asking for it, there's an Among Us series coming, a cartoon series based on the world of Among Us. And I truly don't know who wants that or uh, who's been clamoring for it, but I'm pretty sure as popular as the game was, that it will be a popular show in the same capacity. So, Among Us is coming if that's your jam. And on a uh continuing trend of almost every episode that I've done this, uh, there's another layoff coming in the nerd world. Sega is laying off 61 employees. Now, I know that may not seem like a lot, but that's 61 people's livelihoods that depend on this operation for their financial well-being, and that's 61 people. I feel like Sega's been on an uptick lately with Sonic games and some content with the Sonic Prime show and things like that, but still, it's not a lot to keep going on. Also, if you want to feel old, today marks the 24th anniversary of the song Forgot About Dre with Dre and Eminem. So that song premiered 24 years ago. Um, and if you're old enough to remember that, you may have forgotten about Dre. Um, one Suicide Squad Kill this Justice League, Kill the Justice League. The video game has been out for, a week and some change now, and not to the greatest uh applause or reception. But one of the things going into the game was that we were told that this was going to be Kevin Conroy's last performance as Batman. And we've come to, and there is a tribute to Batman slash Kevin Conroy in the game, even though there's some unceremonious uh things that happen to Batman Kevin Conroy in the game. There's a tribute to him as part of the game later on. Um, but we've come to learn that it is not his last performance. You will get some Kevin Conroy a little bit later on as Batman posthumously. He will be playing the animated series Batman in Crisis on Infinite Earths Part 3 from the DC universe that will be releasing in an animated form later. So that is at least one thing that we can count on. You're going to get a smidgen more of Kevin Conroy as Batman in your life. So that's coming. And because we still get to believe in heroes, uh, there's also some pretty crazy villain arc evidence going on right now. Elon Musk installed his first brain computer in someone, like a computer that merges with a brain and like functions as a full brain computer. It's his brain computer is called Neuralink, and the first person to have one installed on slash in slash connected to their brain happened, and they're recovering well. I just don't see this ending well. You know, this is like this is how Terminator starts. This is how things go wrong. Um, it's gonna be crazy. But the first brain computer is there. Now, listen, I know that there's endless potential of great things that can come from that. But dude, this is how so many sci-fi movies start out. This is how the robots take over. It's just shenanigans, man. Shenanigans. On villain news, Despicable Me 4 has been announced. And there's a trailer out, and Gru and his wife, I believe played by Kristen Wiig, have a baby. So they're adding a small human to the family of girls, the girls. Um, and that's coming. So if you would have told me when Despicable Me started that we would be like four Despicable Me's and three Minion movies deep in these things, I would have never believed it. But dang it, they're going strong. Uh, and yeah, that's just kind of crazy. Um, there, uh, there appears to be evidence that they have finally found Amelia Earhart's plane 87 years after it's gone down. Um, they found her model of plane in the ocean, and it's been pulled up by some stuff, by some diving teams and people scanning down there. And so they believe they have found Amelia Earhart's final location 87 years after her disappearance. You can check out more of that in some better news and details, but for just a piece of history, Amelia Earhart may possibly have been found. They found the plane apparently, but I don't know more details on that just yet, like whether they recovered a body or anything like that. If you are familiar with the show, The Bear, Ayo Edebiri, who just recently won Golden Globes and Emmys for her performance on The Bear, was scheduled to play a role in Marvel's The Thunderbolts, um, which is kind of a Marvel Suicide Squadish slash B villain or B superhero uh film with like David Hopper, the guy that plays no, David Harbour, the guy who plays Hopper on Stranger Things, uh Florence Pugh's, White Widow, uh, Bucky, etc. Thunderbolts is, the hero assembly movie. Ayo Edebiri has left her role and departed from the film. And this comes after, I think, the last week when I talked to y'all that Stephen Yeun, who was going to play Sentry in that film, has also departed. So they've got people walking off. They are in and out of directors and things like that. So the movie is in a little bit of turmoil. I truly want to watch this movie. I want some solid Bucky action, and there's also rumors that this is going to end Sebastian Stan's role as Bucky in the Marvel universe, and I'd rather that not be true. But it is what it is. Also in superhero news, Millie Acock or Alcock, who plays the young ruler in House of Dragons, has been rumored to be cast and or not rumored, has been cast in Supergirl World Woman of Tomorrow, the upcoming DC Universe film, like once everything reboots. It is based on the Tom King book that is of the same name. And like it's one of my favorite stories in a few years. And like literally it's my lock screen. That comic is my lock screen. It's a good one. So I'm interested in how that's going to turn out in terms of a movie. But one of the things Matthew Vaughn, who directed lots of things, Kingsman and everything, and uh, it was bringing us Argyle and stuff like that, is kind of surprised that they are casting people when the movie doesn't have a director yet. But that is a thing. On terms of directors, though, if you weren't aware, legendary director Quentin Tarantino, who has produced many movies and been in lots of movies, legendary director Quentin Tarantino has long stated that he was only going to make 10 films, that he was only going to personally create 10 movies. And we've been sitting at nine for a while. Uh, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood was number nine. And we've been waiting to see what Tarantino's 10th and final film is going to be. And it has been announced. Um, his final film is going to be called The Movie Critic, and it is going to star Brad Pitt. I don't know more than that. That's the information I have. But there you go. Quentin Tarantino's final film has been announced. You've seen all of, or if you're my age, you've seen all of his films in your lifetime. And his final film has been announced. Film Movie Critic with Brad Pitt. There'll be obviously more people in it. Um, but that's coming. Also, in terms of cool things that we are finally getting to see that been waiting on, uh, last week, Daredevil Born Again re began filming again, and the internet slash TikTok slash all the other places was a buzz of the fact that sure enough, on the street filming, we saw Matt, Karen, and Foggy all together. Foggy with a new stylish haircut. And the fact that there was a sign outside of their filming location that said Nilsson, Murdoch, and Page, which was teased and written on a napkin in the final episode of Netflix's Daredevil, and we've waited years for this, and it's actually happening. This is maybe really want to go rewatch Daredevil. I don't have time for that right now, but it is on my list to do. But I'm excited because I truly loved Foggy. I enjoyed Karen Page's character as well, and I'm looking forward to the fact that they're back in the Daredevil world, but also in officially the Marvel universe. So they are home, they are credited, and it's pretty cool. Um, yeah, uh, that's I just think that's a pretty neat thing. That we finally get that, and we've waited on it, but it literally took it took the it took the whole production shutting down and having to start over to be able to get to that place, to be able to get to the place where they could actually bring back what we actually wanted in the first place. So either way, through all the delays and everything else that's happened, I'm just grateful we're getting Karen and Foggy back, which is neat. Uh, Coming up on Super Bowl, which we see, we've got Super Bowl coming up, not this weekend, but next weekend. Um, the Super Bowl at times has been pretty profound in terms of Jesus related materials going out at the Super Bowl. Years back, Tim Tebow did a John 3:16 commercial with his money, and people, there was like record numbers of people Googling what John 3:16 was. There was a scriptural commercial in recent years as well. Well, there is an app called Hallow, which is a prayer app. And a lot of times you'll have celebrities and things leading it, like Mark Wahlberg leads some. The dude who plays Jesus in The Chosen leads some. But it's an app for you to go to and hear prayers or be inspired to pray certain prayers like that. It's a decent app to have. if you struggle with your prayer life or you just need some encouragement in your prayer life. This year, the Hallow app will premiere their first Super Bowl ad, which, if you're aware, Super Bowl ads aren't cheap. It's like $4 million for 30 seconds and or more. So the Hallow app is doubling down, and they are going to be releasing their their app commercial at the Super Bowl. Um, Speaking of also Jesus related content and media, a couple more things. Uh, the guy who played Philip in The Chosen, who was one of my favorite actors in The Chosen, by the way. I thought the dude just was charismatic and energetic, and I really liked his vibe. His name's Yoshi in real life. Yoshi departed from The Chosen after season three. So in season four and on, there will be a different dude playing Philip because he gave up that role. Well, one of the things that we're now seeing that since he gave up that role is because he has his own Jesus movie coming to theaters uh, called 47 Days with Jesus. And it's gonna center around the last 47 days of Jesus's life, and it's gonna star the guy who was Philip, now playing Jesus. You can look for that in theaters coming out pretty soon. And another cool thing is there is a new TV series uh brought to us by the Wonder Project and Dallas Jenkins, the dude who does The Chosen, on Amazon Prime. Amazon has officially ordered a full series based on the life of David, and it will be premiering on Amazon Prime from the people that, or part of the people who are responsible for The Chosen and the Wonder Project. And it's going to be called The House of David, and it's going to follow the life of David. I mean, there's potential to have full like Game of Thrones level stuff in this show, but also produced by people that care and want it to be quality. And so that's a pretty neat thing to be able to actually have a David centered show on Amazon Prime on another major network. The Chosen has done really well in the fact that when it bounced over to the CW and it's doing well in theaters, or it will be doing well in theaters from what I see. By the way, I think today or starting now, you can go watch the first three episodes of The Chosen in theaters for season four, and it's 3 hours and 37 minutes for that. So if that's your jam, you just want to watch it in the big screen, it's out there now. Um, One thing I forgot to mention earlier, along with the WWE news, is amidst allegations and things that popped up last week, or that resurfaced last week, Vince McMahon has officially left TKO, which is the company that owns the UFC and WWE, because of a lot of heavy negative allegations that were brought against him. And it's also impacted Brock Lesnar and a few other people in that capacity. So, yeah, that's it. That's what's going on. So that's my news for this week. If I hopefully shared something you didn't know and maybe did that with you. So Faith and Fandom Book 9 is out. Super pumped about that. And also to let you know, our comic book, Flockward, is being still reviewed by another company, but I will have some copies of it, of this version of it, with me soon. It went to print. The publisher called me yesterday. Not the company that wants to mass produce it and they're like, do it big, but just the publisher printer. Started printing copies of it yesterday. So I will have some of those at upcoming shows. Um, Also, I got emails yesterday that my panels for GalaxyCon Richmond, which is a Faith and Fandom panel, and a Geek Church panel, have both been approved. And so I will have both of those panels um, at GalaxyCon Richmond. Uh, so yeah. And Joshua Collins, thank you, dude. And real quick before I bounce, just to let you know that I want to thank our Patreon supporters: Jamie Montgomery, Matthew Coleman, Jonathan Herman, Ron Petit, Tesh Norton, Scott Ward, Alicia Benson, Candace Javis, Jay Sheed, Jillian, Jason Crutchfield, Mike Perna, Todd Turner, John Jacobs, Zach Harris, Caleb Grimm, Jeanette Skaggs, Chris Poirier, Jason Bullock, Christina Ray, Sarah Lewis, Patrick Gale, Rebecca Godlove, and Adam Davis. Thank you all for being amazing and supporting the way that you do and just being as encouraging as you are. Um, Thanks. Take care of each other, love each other well. If there's anything I can do for you, let me know. Con season's about to kick off, so I'm pretty excited to be going back out where the people are. I'm actually going to a con tomorrow in Charlotte. So if you're at Charlotte MiniCon, come up and say hi. I'll have some stickers and stuff with me just to give away while I'm there. And yeah, thanks for starting your Friday morning with me. I'm gonna go get dressed and go to my muggle job for a while, since I have to do grown-up work now. Thank you for being a part of Faith and Fandom. Thank you for being just encouraging, and I will see y'all soon. And y'all that are still listening, that I haven't clicked your button yet,